it's becoming just a bit too much of a hassle to deal with, right? You know, like going into certain political Facebook groups and, you know, trying to spread your message or get the word out and you get silenced because it's not the message that the moderators approve of. Just not worth my time, to be honest. What's good, peoples? So we recently hit a milestone. We just passed 1 year since I started taking this channel seriously. And I felt like this was a good time to take a look back and reflect on how the channel's done over the last year, the goals that we've hit, the goals that we didn't hit, successes that I'm had, the failures that I'm had. And in order to do that, we're gonna look at the analytics that YouTube gives you in the studio. And I thought, well, you guys can see how I look at the data and how I use that data to help me decide on the plan forward for 2021. And maybe some of you have YouTube channels, maybe you have other jobs or other tasks that require looking at analytics, and maybe you can gain some insight or just look at how I do things and see how it works. So let's take a drink. I got some white wine here. And let's jump into the data. So apologies in advance because this isn't scripted or anything. I just said, hey, let's turn on the camera and figure this out, right? But like I said, there were certain goals that I wanted to hit. The biggest one was that I wanted to become a YouTube partner, which, as you can see here, let's jump into the studio. So you're required to have at least 1,000 subscribers. We smashed that. Got 1,230. But the problem was I didn't get enough watch hours. Now you need 4,000 watch hours within the last 12 months. At my peak, I was like a few weeks ago, I was about 3,700. So I just missed it. And then what happened is probably my most popular video up to this point. I'm starting to lose those views now because it came out over a year ago. So unfortunately, I'm losing those watch hours from the video. But, you know, I don't mind so much. I never really planned on making any money from this channel anyway. It was just a goal I had. I said, you know, let's see if I can become a partner within a year. So I got more subscribers than I thought I ever would, to be honest. I thought I would really squeak by 1,000, but I ended up with 1,230. But the watch hours, that has yet to come, but that's okay. I'll get there eventually. But anyway, let's look at how the channel performed in the last year. So these are my monthly or last 28 days, stats from last 28 days. It's pretty good, pretty average, about 5,000 views, 45 subscribers. That's been about my average for the last year. We need to look back at the entire year. See more. All right, so this is the last 28 days again. If we drill down to the last 365, you'll see here. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Let's look at 2020 first so I can show you the video I was just talking about. That's the one there, my video about the Bermuda being the most expensive country on earth. That did very well for that first week, super well. And it continues to be one of my top performing videos, you know? So, got 25,000 views last year, about 1,000 watch hours. That's what I'm losing now. 42 subscribers came directly from that video. In total, we had 100,000 views in 2020. Not bad. Not bad for 1 year, man. But let's stretch that out. Let's include what we've done recently, and you'll see a few things, right? So if you look at my top performing videos, again, Bermuda, most expensive nation on earth, 6 things to do before moving to Bermuda. And then there's my Bermuda government stuff, Black Lives Matter, etc., etc., oceanside living, blah, blah, blah. The first thing I want you to notice is, what's at the top of these videos, right? Now, I think one thing that my channel's really become known for in recent times, at least, locally, is sort of my political commentary, right? And a lot of people, they comment on my political commentary stuff. It really reaches a good local audience, I feel like. But at the same time, those videos, they kind of come and go, right? And another thing that they depend on is, let's look at one of these, the most popular one, the one I did about Bermuda government work permits. So if we drill down into this video and we look at the, let's see, I'm looking for traffic sources. Right. So the majority of the views for this video came from external sources, which is, we drew down farther, you're going to see that it's Facebook, right? Bermudians love Facebook. Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, all the messaging services from people sending it around to their friends, I guess. Which is cool. I'm not going to complain with people sharing my video around. But the problem is, when it comes to long-term growth of the video and reaching new viewers and hopefully bringing in new subscribers, they don't do so well at that. Now, if we go back to the top performing videos and we look at, let's say, 6 things to know before moving to Bermuda. I didn't even put this video on Facebook, and it has far more views than any of the political commentary videos I've done. Let's look at the traffic sources. The overwhelming majority came from YouTube, recommending my video to people. So the reason I highlight this in particular is because I think the goal to get big on YouTube, or to at least be successful and to get all the watch hours and stuff, for a regular person like me without a huge following, is to get YouTube to recommend your content. You know, you need YouTube to be putting it in people's recommendation lists and to, you know, putting it up in search results and all that. But the problem is, when I focus on niche topics like Bermuda politics, right? Or, you know, some drama that's going on the island, it really limits the audience, because there's nobody in the States or Canada or Europe searching for, you know, what the Bermuda government's doing with foreign workers or anything like that. Very little bit of traction there. That might be, that's going to be super relevant to the local people here in Bermuda. But the thing about Bermuda is, if you don't know, which I'm sure most people watching this do, the population is about 60,000 people, right? So that's my audience, right? There's 60,000 people. If I want to be getting 4,000 watch hours within a 12-month period, I need more people watching than, you know, the small niche of that. I mean, even if I had half of the entire population watching my videos, then yeah, it would be pretty easy, but that's never going to happen. That's a pipe dream. I got about, you know, a fraction of that. So either I need to become probably the biggest media source on the island, you know, bigger than established platforms like Bird News or Royal Gazette, or I need to expand my potential audience and reach people, you know, that are searching for Bermuda on topics that are relevant to them. Like, they want to know what it's like to move here, or how to move here, or they're coming here on vacation and they want to know more about the island, or maybe they just see something interesting and, you know, Bermuda is really the most expensive place on earth. Oh, let me look at this video. Another good metric to look at is the impressions. Impressions are almost more valuable than views, to be honest, because it's a good indication of how successful YouTube is, or how successful you are at getting YouTube to promote your videos, right? The more impressions you have, the more views you're going to get, generally. So if you notice here, for the 90-day period, these two videos here, they combined for over 40,000 impressions. That's almost half of my impressions for the whole period. Whereas the next highest performer was, let's see, besides the stuff that I didn't create myself, this other government video with 2,900. You know, like, impressions are big. And then with more impressions and a high click-through rate, this has a pretty high click-through rate, 10.9%. Even 8.8% is not bad. It's not as good as 25% here, but this only has 3,600 impressions. So it's not as impressive as 10% click-through rate with 21,000 impressions, because that's going to equal, over 2,000 views, whereas 25% of 3,600 impressions is less than that, right? Like less than 1,000. Or 900. So, yeah, that's another metric that you really need to pay attention to. And another thing that I like to look at is the comments, I got a good bit of comments now. And I have to say, the majority of them, if you see the trend here, come from videos that have that are not so niche to the Bermuda audience. Guess you guys probably know where this video is going, right? I'm looking at the analytics. I'm looking at my best performing videos. And when I'm looking towards 2021 and how I want to grow the channel, or what's working best to grow the channel, it seems to be that the political commentary type stuff just isn't as successful as I'd like it to be, right? And I could probably improve on the product. I could probably advertise it better, because I'm really bad at advertising my stuff. But when it comes down to it, like a video like this, the vaccine video that I just put out, the last one, I put a lot of work into this video, 306 views, 4 subscribers, 37 watch hours. I'd have to make hundreds of these if I was going to hit the goal that I want to hit. So, I know that a lot of people that watch my channel enjoy these videos where I, explore Bermudian topics. And I don't think I'll ever stop completely, because I enjoy making it. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, right? I'm just doing things that I like. And, if anything was to come out of it, then cool. If not, then it doesn't bother me. That said, I do work really hard on these videos, and I want them to succeed, And I have goals that I want for this channel that I'm not going to be able to hit unless I adapt and follow the data, right? So, like I said, my goal is still to become a YouTube partner and try to grow the channel as much as possible. And by looking at the data, I'm seeing that I need to start focusing on these videos that are more general, or that can reach a broader audience than the political videos or the political commentary that has a niche audience. And it goes a bit deeper than that. At the end of the day, these videos and, talking on hot topics or sensitive topics, they expose me a bit, and it's becoming just a bit too much of a hassle to deal with, right? Like going into certain political Facebook groups and, trying to spread your message or get the word out, and you get silenced because it's not the message that the moderators approve of. It's just not worth my time, to be honest. I got better things to do. But, I appreciate everybody that follows me and everybody that supports me when I make these videos. But, I guess this is kind of like, this is kind of a video to you guys, just to say, thank you for sticking with me. And even though I may defocus on some of those videos that you like me to produce, I'll still touch on some topics from time to time. What I'm thinking is I may just move those videos straight to Facebook, since everybody comes to the channel from Facebook anyway. It probably makes more sense to just put those ones directly on Facebook. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'll make a Facebook page for the channel and then just upload the videos straight there. And then you can watch them there, and then YouTube could be where I find like audiences outside of Bermuda. I think that's the direction I'll take things. But, this is why it's important to look at the studio in YouTube and on Facebook or whatever other platform you want to use, and really learn how to read the data, because they'll throw a bunch of data at you, but you can't always, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. You can't just look at I can't just look at a YouTube tutorial on how to interpret analytics for a channel in Bermuda that's trying to grow a global audience while also catering to a local audience. You know, like, that doesn't exist. I just have to look at the data and sort of make my own conclusions from that. I hope that was a insightful look into the channel and behind the scenes. If you have any suggestions or any requests or anything, leave them in the comments. You guys want me to focus on a certain type of video, let me know, you know, because I know a lot of people don't like commenting on these videos, especially the Bermuda ones, because they're afraid of who might see them and what they might think of what their opinion. But unfortunately, without your feedback and without that type of support, I just can't justify focusing on that type of content. You know, I need you guys to speak up, to share the videos around, to tell your friends to watch it and all that, and then maybe I'll, you know, circle back and do more of that type of content. But for now, you know, I gotta follow the data. I gotta follow the trends. I gotta follow the traffic, and you know, if it's right now, it's pointing me towards content that reaches a more general audience, and in 2021, that's the direction I'm going to take. So hope you all still stick with me, and I'll be here. You still got my numbers and my email, and you can leave comments whenever. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bang.